importance of 𝗕𝗃𝗃 is that it has been excavated for the last 40 years. On one side, as I said, it gives us information about like the civil life, the life of the society. The floor level simply grow over time, and we are in an urban area, so this area was used much more than 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲.
पिछले 10 साल से एलिसा यहाँ, बल्कि 11 साल से सवात में वो रहती कैसे है। हमारे पास एक और बंदा है डॉक्टर दूका, वो पिछले तकरीबन 40 साल से यहाँ पे।
So here you can actually see all the history of 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃. So we go from protohistoric period. Do you see all those stones there? Those were part of a fortification rampart dated to the protohistoric period. So we try actually to do the same in other room of the area. But 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃, as I said, had such a long life that inside the room we found other walls, and then below other walls. In the end, you have to reduce the dimension of your trench until you are in a sort of well. So with this machine, when you mix soil with water, the organic material is lighter, so it will come up.
Okay.
So this process, this flotation machine, help you to collect organic materials. You can find like lalls, merei, bangles, and glass, because it's heavier, so it will not come up there.
Archaeology is not just limited to just collect things, put in the museum for the display. It's always the sharing knowledge that can also predict the future possibilities.
Absolutely, because it tells you something about human-environment relationship, and also natural disaster, and how people like the challenge of the past and the solution that were found. So from the kind of seed you find, you can also understand which kind of irrigation system was used.
उस पर तुम्हारा experience शो हुई था, तब खतरा शो था पता होगा कि चाव पदी के सब पता के दो वाला भी।
जी तो खावरम के जिनो तरी और ब्याह का बाबा जिस तरह वाचे कला हरी नों कम पतली के पदी लेयर के दास इश्तरे और सीखी इश्तरे।
There is a corridor actually, so in a very early phase this was a shrine with an apsidal shape, and some preliminary drawing are there. So it was an apsidal shrine with a corridor, and inside we don't know what was there. This kind of apsidal shrine with something inside is typical, of course, of the Mauryan monument in India. So we have parallel, for instance, with Bairat, which is in Rajasthan nowadays. So you really can see similar religious architecture.
How did you find, and what kind of experience do you have today?
It's quite interesting for me. Like as I told you before, that it's my first experience ever in Pakistan or anywhere in the world, like going to a heritage site and knowing about the generations and generations and their history, how they used to live.
We do have such kind of structures this big in this parts of the Bazira. Is there any possibility?
At the moment, we can explore, let's say, 1/3 of the city, not including, of course, all the Acropolis was all excavated.
The outskirts, they are connected to the city.
Yes.
Yeah, but the main city you have explored 1/3 of it.
We will explore 1/3.
आप यहाँ पे आ चुके हैं, ये बजीरा साइट है, आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट
अच्छा।
बजीरा, और ये बहुत ही हिस्टोरिकल और इम्पोर्टेंट साइट है क्योंकि इसका जो तारीख हमारे साथ तो मिलता है 1500 BC से लेके तकरीबन 10th सेंचुरी तक, यानी हिंदू शाही पीरियड भी इनको कवर कर लेता है। तो अब यहाँ
ये
पे
मल्टीपल सिविलाइजेशन जहाँ रह चुकी है और मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली इसको बजीरा सिटी भी कहते हैं, राइट?
ये बजीरा सिटी है, ये यूनिवर्सल सिटी है और इसको वजीरस्तान भी कहते हैं क्योंकि
अच्छा।
बजीरा साइड सिकंदर आज़म के दौर में था। उसका नाम जो था पहले बीरा से बजीरा, और बजीरा के बाद ये मुख्तलिफ किस्म के नाम उन्होंने पकड़ लिए और आखिर में वो वजीरस्ताना बन गया।
अच्छा।
तो ये वजीरस्ताना जो है वो लास्ट पीरियड इसका है, और ये वजरा इसलिए इसको कहते हैं कि वजरा का मतलब है गार्डिंग और स्ताना का मतलब है प्लेस। यानी अब उसको टॉप को देख लें तो ये बिल्कुल ये सराउंडिंग एरिया है और ये सारे इलाके को कवर कर लेते हैं। तो इस लिहाज से इसको वजरस्ताना कहते हैं।
अच्छा।
ये मेरे माइंड में है, मैं एक्सप्लोर कर चुका हूँ इस तरीके से।
अच्छा।
इस तरीके से मैं वजाहत करता हूँ।
हमने बहुत कुछ बताना है अपनी ऑडियंस को। इस वक्त हम बरीकोट में हैं। बरीकोट स्वात का जो पहला टाउन है, जो जैसे आप एंटर होते हैं और आपको ये बजीरा सिटी मिलता है। जमशेद, मैं जब भी स्वात आता हूँ या आर्कियोलॉजिकल साइट्स पे जितना भी मेरा काम है, सबसे जो फेवरेट स्पॉट है वो ये है।
अच्छा।
एक ये है और एक अमरूद दरा है। इन दोनों साइड को हम एक्सप्लोर करेंगे, कोशिश करेंगे। यहाँ आपको एक एंटायर सिटी ज़मीन की नीचे मिलेगा और ये जो डिपार्टमेंट है ये आहिस्ता आहिस्ता एक एक कॉर्नर को खोल रहा है।
सही।
ठीक है, तो वो डिटेल्स जो हैं वो हमें आगे जाके पता चलेगी। यहाँ पे एक सरप्राइज़ है आप दोनों के लिए कामरान, कि यहाँ पे एक इटालियन मिशन काम कर रहा है।
नाइस।
हाँ, और वो तकरीबन अराउंड
1955 से
थैंक यू सर, 1955 से यहाँ पे एक्सकेवेशन कर रहा है और ये गवर्नमेंट के साथ मिलके उनकी कोलैबोरेशन है।
अच्छा, वैसे मेरे जहन में है कि जिस तरह से ये इंटरनेशनल कोलैबोरेशंस होती हैं, जिस तरह वो लोग यहाँ पे आके काम करते हैं, हमें तो डेफिनेटली फ़ायदा हमें ही है क्योंकि टूरिज़्म हमारी प्रमोट होनी है। उन लोगों को क्या फ़ायदा है?
उन लोगों को ये फ़ायदा है कि उनके जो स्टूडेंट हैं वो यहाँ ट्रेन हो जाते हैं। उनको जो मेन पॉइंट उनको मिलता है ये कि इनके जितने भी स्टूडेंट हैं वो यहाँ पे आते हैं। जिस तरह ये हमने बात की डॉक्टर एलिसा योरी, ये पहले स्टूडेंट थी, यहाँ पे वो रिसर्च कर रही थी। फिर उन्होंने जब PhD हासिल की तो उनको यहाँ पे सही परफेक्ट काम मिल गया और तो ये अभी काम करके जा रही है। जिस तरीके से वो एज डिप्टी डायरेक्टर इटालियन आर्कियोलॉजिकल मिशन के नाम से मशहूर है।
और वही एक सरप्राइज़ है जो सर ने उनका नाम बताया, डॉक्टर एलिसा। उनसे मेरा पहला भी एक इंटरेक्शन रहा है, आज भी उनसे हम बात करेंगे। क्योंकि बात अंग्रेज़ी में होंगी इसलिए पहले हम सब ज़रा उर्दू में इसलिए बात की ताकि ज़रा हमारी ऑडियंस समझ सके कि हम कहाँ पे हैं। ये जो आपने सवाल किया ना कि उनको क्या फ़ायदा है, आर्कियोलॉजी या हेरिटेज ये पूरी दुनिया का होता है और ये एक कलेक्टिव पूरी दुनिया उसको ओन कर रही होती है। ठीक है जी, और ये एक शेयर्ड चीज़ है। किसी भी मुल्क में जो चीज़ें हैं ये सारी दुनिया शेयर के, चाहे अफगानिस्तान में कहीं भी है, और इसके ऊपर जितनी भी रिसर्च की जाती है वो रिसर्च पूरी दुनिया के साथ शेयर की जाती है। तो इटालियंस हो, कोई और हो, इस एरिया के अगर वो काम करे तो एक शेयर्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी समझ के कर रहे होते हैं। तो ये एक कोलैबोरेशन चल रहा होता है। ठीक है जी, तो यहाँ से जितनी भी रिमेन्स निकलती हैं वो जाती है पाकिस्तान, यहाँ पे ही उसकी रिसर्च होती है। दे हेल्प अस आउट कि वो उसकी एक्सकेवेशन करे, खुदाई करे, निकालें और उसकी पब्लिकेशन करें ताकि उसकी नॉलेज से हम फ़ायदा उठाएं। एम आई राइट सर?
बिल्कुल, जिस तरह आपने फरमाया कि इनकी ही रिसर्च की वजह से, क्योंकि हमारे पास है ठीक है रिसोर्सेज है मौजूद है, लेकिन इस तरीके से जो एक्सपर्टी है वो बहुत कम महदूद में है। जिस तरह हमारे पास डॉक्टर 𝗕𝘇 साहब है, वो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव को संभालें या यहाँ आर्कियोलॉजिकल फील्ड को संभालें, तो हमारे पास एक्सपर्टी जो है जिस तरह डॉक्टर फवाद साहब है या दूसरे और आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट है, लेकिन वो बहुत कम मकदार में है। तो इस लिहाज से हम इनके एक्सपर्टी से मुफीद हो के यहाँ पे जो हमारे यंग आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट है वो उसको ट्रेन करके वो फिर एक्सप्लोर कर लेते हैं और हम इनसे बहुत ज़्यादा फ़ायदा मिल जाता है।
ये बहुत मुश्किल काम है जो एक्सकेवेशन है, और इसको मतलब बगैर किसी कोलैबोरेशंस के इंटरनेशनल जितनी भी हमारे एमयूज़ हैं डिफरेंट कंट्रीज़ के साथ, उनके बगैर मुश्किल है। अभी सर हमें इंट्रोड्यूस करवाएंगे डॉक्टर एलिसा से और उनसे फिर हम जानेंगे कि ये साइट की इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है और वो यहाँ पे कितने अरसे से है, कहाँ से हैं और यहाँ पे क्यों मौजूद है, राइट। कामरान साहब, आप खामोश हैं तो आपने कुछ बोलना है ज़रूर, ये आपके वाले पहाड़ नहीं है, ठीक है, लेकिन आप
मुझे क्यूरियोसिटी ये है कि मैं तो अपने हिसाब से सवाल पूछूंगा, क्योंकि मैं अगर हम टूरिज़म पे बात करते हैं तो यूजुअली एक ही सवाल आता है कि ख़वातीन का वहाँ पे क्या रोल है अगर ख़वातीन उन इलाकों में आती है। तो ये मेरे लिए काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है अगर उनसे ये सवाल किया जाए कि एज ए खातून वो यहाँ पे रह रही हैं, उनका क्या एक्सपीरियंस है।
ये देखें, आपके सवाल और कामरान के सवाल ये भी ज़रूर होने चाहिए कि पिछले 10 साल से एलिजा यहाँ, बल्कि 11 साल से, उनसे ये पूछे कि सवात में वो रहती कैसे है,
यही तो
हाउ शी इज़ इंटरेक्टिंग विद अदर पीपल, लोगों के साथ कैसी है, रहन सहन कैसा है। हमारे पास एक और बंदा है जो आज अवेलेबल नहीं है, डॉक्टर लूका, वो पिछले तकरीबन 40 साल से यहाँ पे, उनको पश्तो आती है, उनको उर्दू आती है, एंड ही इज़ इन इटालियन। उसकी बहुत बड़ी कंट्रीब्यूशन है हमारी सवात के लिए, पख्तूनख्वा के लिए, इस हेरिटेज के एक्सप्लोरेशन के लिए। उससे आप किसी और दिन मैं मुलाकात कराऊंगा। आज हम मिलेंगे डॉक्टर एलिसा से
इंशाल्लाह।
हेलो डॉक्टर।
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you so much for your time again. It's been an immense pleasure to see you again in this beautiful city of Bazira.
Yes.
So I will introduce you to my team. This is 𝗕𝗶𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Hi.
He is from Waziristan, an incredible influencer. He's been working from last so many years on the promotion of tourism in Pakistan.
Okay.
Along with us is Kamran. Kamran is from the adjacent district, Dir, but he is also working along with the Jamshed on the tourism. So actually I was planning to come here. We are traveling the Pakhtunkhwa and exploring the potentials, the good stories, the things that have been happening here in this.
There is a lot to say, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. So I invited them to join us in this beautiful journey. And Amanullah have already received us. Thank you so much, Amanullah Saab. We will be having a conversation with Dr. Elisa, and she will be introducing us to this whole city of Bazira. Our first curiosity with my audience and 𝗕𝗫𝗃𝗃𝗃 audience is that do you know Pashto or Urdu or anything
Just
that
a
we
bit
can talk?
बिल्कुल ठीक ना दे।
लगे राजी। Last time when I spoke to Dr. Luca high up in that mountain we did a very detailed podcast. So I took a lot of time to just convince him that please talk in Pashto. So he was saying that we will be talking there on the archaeology, on the heritage. So I cannot use the Pashto terms and the archaeology, it will be so wrong. So it's better that we talk in English.
Yes, but because we use Pashto mostly in the context of work. So also our verbs, terms that we use, that we know in Pashto are related to work. But, this kind of conversation, the vocabulary is very limited.
Yeah.
My Pashto vocabulary.
Well, Jamshed, there's a lot of questions to ask you, but he is always traveling in the mountains, exploring the beautiful valleys of Pakhtunkhwa and the lakes, the waterfalls. He has his expertise in that. This is the very first time that we are introducing the heritage sites to him. Okay. So if you let us know about this beautiful site, that our audience, his audience, my audience and Kamran audience can understand the first image or the first information of this beautiful Bazira city.
So there is a lot to say about 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃. So it's very different from the site where we met for the very first time. We met in 𝗕𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗃, which is one of the many Buddhist sites that we have here in 𝗬𝗏 that are spread all across this valley. 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃 is a bit different because it's an urban site. So it gives us the chance also to understand how people who built and conceptualized all these Buddhist centers were actually living. But the history of 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃 is much more ancient. In the end, the kind of information we can get about the ancient society from 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃 is extraordinary. Because the history of 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃 starts in the Bronze Iron Age, so 2nd millennium BCE. And we have a continuous occupation of the site until the Islamic period, so medieval phase. So in this sense, it's really is unique. I mean, it's unique in Gandhara. It's the only urban site that has been explored, of course. I mean, there were also other sites with such a long life. But the importance of 𝗵𝗃𝗃 is that it has been excavated for the last 40 years. So we have a lot of information. And 𝗵𝗃𝗃 is important for the two main aspects. On one side, as I said, it gives us information about like the civil life, the life of the society of that time through different ages. And on the other side, it was also, and this was not underlined so much in the past, also by us, I think, was, I think, a very important religious site. Why? The name is 𝗵𝗃𝗃, but so the site is mentioned in many sources, Greek, Latin sources, because it was an area that was conquered by Alexander the Great. And then the name of 𝗵𝗃𝗃 comes again in Tibetan sources of the 13th century as Vajrasthana. So the name 𝗵𝗃𝗃, so the ancient name of 𝗵𝗃𝗃 is, the ancient sources is Bazira Beira, which come from Vajra. In fact, in later time it's called Vajrasthana. So Vajra is a very powerful term, because Vajra is, it means the thunderbolts, the diamond. It's the instrument used by the god Indra in a cosmological myth for the creation of the world, of the cosmos. So you have to imagine, so that's the Acropolis of 𝗵𝗃𝗃. So now we are on this is the plain, this is the lower town, and on the top of that hill, you should climb it and go. Yes,
sure.
Since you like nature and
like nature.
checking, you should go up there.
Definitely. Lisa, we basically come here. Why I told him firstly that this is my favorite site, along with the 𝗕𝗃𝗃, definitely. People just don't understand that why this beautiful city was underground. Why not it's up the ground? What's the concept? Why it remained now underground? It was supposed to be on the floor of the site, as we see the other stupas. So they are up. Why they are just down there?
I see. So this is the results of human activities. Every action we do produce like waste, produce soil, produce like dust, and this dust simply accumulates on the, on the level. So the floor level simply grow over time. And we are in an urban area, so this area was used much more than 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃. That the area in the valley, plus we have picture from Stein where the fortification wall was already visible, and also the fortification on the top. So some structure were already visible at the beginning of the previous centuries. So that's why this site was selected for excavation. But this is simply like the result of human activities. When everything we do produce like dust, waste, and all this material accumulates.
And they create layers to layers and
layers. Layers, yeah. And this is what archaeologists do. We remove layer by layer all this, this dust produced by our ancestors. That's our...
Definitely. We will go forward and see what we more have in this site.
Okay, during your last visit here in 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃, during the interview with Dr. Luca, you were on the top.
Yes,
the Guandei.
on that mountain.
And from the top, he explained you also all the history of 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Yeah.
And there you have an horizontal view on the site, because you can see all the fortification wall dated by to the Indo-Greek period that delimit the city of 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃. Is huge. While here, we can have like a vertical view on the site. You know, before you asked me about, we were talking about the continuous occupation of the site and the stratigraphy, no? So here you can actually see all the history of 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲. So we go from protohistoric period. Do you see all those stones there? Those were part of a fortification rampart dated to the protohistoric period, so 1200, 800 BCE. In the section there, you can see like nothing. There are no stones, there is no material, no pottery. This is a phase of abandonment, and we think was connected to a natural disaster. Disaster means big flood is like a big barrel soil with nothing inside. And then the life of the city actually started.
Okay.
So like in the mid-1st century BCE, Bazira was a proto-urban site. Let's say also in the protohistoric period, we have of course other evidence in all the other area of the site, started to be a city during the Achaemenid phase. And here we found for the first time evidence of this Achaemenid phase, so 3rd century BCE, with material that is comparable to material found in Iran. So do you see the connection? I mean, in the end, 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲, it's not such a big city. It was not such a big city in the past, like 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲 or the ancient capital city of 𝗧𝗿, which is nowadays Mingora, but it was an ancient city, Massaka. But somehow it's globally connected, you know, to other part of the world since antiquity. So with Iran and so through the Persian Empire. And then we have this later phase connected to the Mauryan Empire. So again, an Indian connection, a connection with another area. And
so we have a different civilization at different layer.
yes,
Different
yes.
Down there, it's different. When you come up, it's, you know, another.
It's
Like
later.
it's changing, and I think it's after every 2 meters it's changing.
Yeah, it's not so easy.
I'm just looking at it. Like how much time it took like doing this excavation?
Long time. So we excavate for 4 seasons. So like no, but in total less than 1 year, several months.
Okay, so you took 1 year to excavate this one.
Yeah. So here at the bottom is almost 9 meters below the actual ground level.
Okay.
It's 9 meters.
There's a very simple question. Most of the time people doesn't understand archaeology, so they have this question in mind. That why you guys just open up this whole area? Why you just guys have opened up this one room now? Okay. So why we cannot open this all rooms and see what's down there?
Okay, so this is actually what our dream. So this is what we should do. So the first, I think, important things in archaeology. I mean, not I think. So the basic of archaeology is context. Okay. So you need to like usually open a big trench to understand where you are, and also to understand where you can go deeper. So we try actually to do the same in other room of the area. But you know, 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲, as I said, had such a long life that inside the room we found other walls, and then below other walls. In the end, you have to reduce the dimension of your trench until you are in a sort of well. Okay. While here, this was a court, a big open court. So here is one of the few points where we had the chance to go deeper. Okay. But it is something, you know, there is a lot of work for future generation here in 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲.
But mostly when I ask this question, people really need to understand that it's not just to take the tools and dig out each and every site and see what's down there. They have been using a very small things to remove the dirt, the stones and all. And it's not just to remove things. Each and every step should be documented. And it took a lot of time to, document each and every step. And they need to publish a lot of publication on this and to share this knowledge with the whole world that what they have been found. So the whole world can connect their knowledges with each other, and they really need to understand that this era is connected to this part of the India, this part of the another, you know. So how this actually the time taking thing is because of this whole work. So it's just not just to dig it
No,
out.
so that's why it's not so easy to excavate.
So what are the main difficulties which come during excavation, like mostly you people are faces?
Well, there are no difficulties. What you, the fact, so during an excavation, it's, I mean, our main difficulties is the hot weather here. But by the way, thanks also to the KITE like project. No, this was, by the way, now I want to mention this cover was part of this project of valorization and promotion of a site in the area of KP, this KITE project, and that's also involved 𝗕𝗶𝗿. So the difficulty, there are no difficulties. It takes time. It's a time-consuming job because, as you just said, it's not only about excavation, but archaeology is a destructive process. So while you excavate, you destroy something. So before destroying that, you have to take notes of each and everything, photograph, and of course, you have to seal the soil to get information about the material on one side, like things that are like coins, beads, all this material that are then on display in the museum, but also seeds. We also do flotation of soil to understand which kind of plants were used in the past and if they change over time. So for one layer, if you use the gadagen tree, is like 5 minutes. In archaeological excavation, it takes 1, 2, 3 hours. This is the place, you know, during, as we said, the excavation is a very time-consuming work, also because we collect the soil that we excavate, at least part of it. And we put the soil in this 𝗔𝗿𝗃𝗲, in this, 𝗔𝗿𝗃𝗲 with all the label with the provenance of the soil. So with this machine, when you mix soil with water, the organic material is lighter, so it will come up. So this process, this flotation machine, help you to collect organic materials, which means seeds mostly. So this is a process that will help us, with the help of an archaeobotanist, to know more about the plants that were used. So plants were used for eating, not only eating, but also for making perfume. We are very close to a Buddhist site, and incense and such kind of fragrance are very important in religious places. And we can find evidence of the kind of plant that were burning for in religious site from this process.
So there might be, you guys have found a lot of seeds from these sites?
Yes.
That have been used thousands of years ago.
Yes, because...
And that seeds are functional, can we put in the soil and we can see this?
No, because so seeds are organics, no? So they don't preserve in normal condition, because they will get destroyed over time. But if they are burned, if they are charred seeds, so that if they were in contact with fire, they preserve. And you cannot reuse them.
Yeah, I was really interested that might be there we plant. They are not, now we cannot,
exist here.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah, there are also plants that now you don't have here. So also some kind of rice origin. And we found lentils, grape, pomegranate, what else? Fish. So yeah, there is a great variety. You know that 𝗧𝗿 was important. I think we discussed this already because it was a double crop zone. So it is like nowadays very fertile. So people also did experiment in this area of like new plant coming from other area, like from India, Himalaya, you know. And
all the civilizations choose 𝗧𝗏 because of its fertile land, its beauty, and they have settled here and they have grown from this region. Most importantly, the Gandhara civilization to the whole world. I might not
And
wrong.
about this machine, this is placed by an expert, I think so.
yes.
Because
So-
it's the quantity of water, this is also said by an expert, just by this person who are working here.
Okay, so our archaeobotanist Rita Dal Martello from the University of Venice fixed this machine, and she trained these workers that are now in charge. They are completely independent.
Okay, good.
So they know that they have to change. For instance, they have to clean the machine when the soil change, so the layer that they are analyzing change. The water needs to flow. You see all this, you know, these are
Myths.
seeds. I mean, some are chair material, some beads. Now,
What are these white ones?
these are recent. These are like a small
Fossil?
shell. These are not ancient. So let me see if we find anything. Yes. This is a seed, for instance. You can see the line here. This is origin. This is rice.
Okay, this is right.
This is rice. Yes.
Pega
Yeah,
mãe.
the shape is a 𝗧𝗏 origin.
It's more like our own white rice.
yes.
We use in 𝗧𝗏.
Yes, I like that very much. So here we can collect the organic material, while Abid will check the the heavy material that is deposited on the bottom, because there you can find like lal, merei, bangles, and glass, because it's heavier, so it will not come up there.
Okay.
These are only for organic, light materials that come up on the water. Like heavy goes on the bottom, and Abid will look for them. So this is like another step. So it's mostly for looking, for organic material, but sometimes during the excavation, small material can skip your attention. Ask Abid.
Our eyes are always on the gold and jewels. Nothing.
How do you stay?
I also searched for some gold, but I didn't find
Ask
anything.
Abid. Ask him.
Abid kan pwede kita sa mumela ka pwede khawro kita sa gore.
Pwede kita maray pa timradi. Pwede kita banglim radi mato. Audi si paisa pa timradi. Audi kita kaudara si kamera si pwede karda ya liya ya goli. Ya pa timradi.
او دا کم بنگړي چې راځي مات نو دا سونی د چاندۍ کرے شیشي
دا بسرو زره کې ټسټ بل شي بل قصه نشته
کار کیسه کاوه د سرو کیسه کاوه سره
kaudari da maray pa timradi.
څومره وخت مو شو تاسو دا کار کوئ
زمو خو دې دغه تقریبا 20-22 سال سیوا وشو.
او ته په مطلب اوس په دومره ایکسپیرینس شوی چې دا مخه ترا شي ته پته ولګي چې او په دې کې څه پیدا کېدو والا دی.
اجي لکه دا خاورم پیژنو د دې او بیا کومه باندې چې دا واچي کنه هغه نو کم پته کې په دې لیر کې دا څه ستره او څه نشته.
د دې شل کلمه خېستل درالین تاسو فکر کوئ دا خلک دې چل
نو په تاریخ خو ولې موږ اسکیویشن شروع کړو دا دغه باندې یا لوکا صاحب دا شانته ټریلینګ راغوله دا کې دې کې
دا تاسو فکر نه کوئ چې تاسو وسګار کې د خاورو کې دا څه ګوري.
نو زمو خو دې دا چې ټریلینګ راکاو کنه چې دا چیکا په دې کې غنم شته یا نشته او خالو خلکو څه شي خلل دي سند دي
او تاسو څه ښکاري چې دا څومره زوري کار دی.
نو موږ ته خو دې چې دغه ښکار یهودیو دپاره دا ډېر امپورټنټ شی دی لکه لازمي دی که نه دي چې لیکلي کتابونه لیکي یهودیو دپاره خو ډېر اهم دی
او تاسو پکې څه خوند موندلی که نه ځکه 20 کاله یو کار کول ډېر ګران کار دی څه خوند پکې شته که نه مزه پکې شته
چې موږ سره دا کار وکړو نوکران ډېر دي ورسره که نه او ډېر
نو خوند پکې نشته بله ډیوټي ولنه کوې
نو دا په دې کې ډېر خوښ وو نو دا موږ مزه راکوي
بل کار مزه نه درکوي د دې ځانه خوند دی په دې خوند اخته شو یو بل کار ونه کېږي
بس موږ خو کله راشي دي دې سره دا کار کوو نو بیا خپله ډیوټي په دې سیډول باندې
ښه نو دا چې دا خلک د نه بیا تپوسونه کوي تاسو کلي ته ځئ چېرې تاسو څه ګورئ او څه کیسه او بیا عجیبه عجیبه تپوسونه نه کوي چېرې دا تاسو چل کوئ
او تپوسونه خو کوي لکه بس موږ یې دغه ته ډیوټي ده په دې کې دا پخوا خلکو دا شی خوړو دا استعمالول
ښه
او دا دغه ته
پیسې میسې راسره ډېرې
والته هم ټول د لالونو د جواهراتو تپوس چې سم پکې بیا نه مونده
دا د وزن تپوس کوي که نه چې لکه تاسو ماښام راځئ نو په جیب کې سره مه راوړه که څه سیکه میکه لکه څه قیمتي نه
دغه هر څه مخې له راغلي صاحب خو لکه دا شی نه دی کړی چې خو دی
څه دې پیدا کړي دي هغه موږ ته ښوولی شي چې نن ورځ کې څه پیدا شوي دي
نن خو په دې کې سبزي دا لږ دغه راوتې دغه الوتې دي او د خدا موږ بند کړي دي اورې
We asked him that what you have found today.
Yes.
She knows what we said.
I asked him that when you go home, do the local ask that you bring gold in your pocket or something?
No, this will never happen.
دا چې دې موږ ته راغلی دا ګوتۍ ده او خو د نیمه حصه شته دی نوره نشته لکه ماته شوې ده
This is ring, right? So can you tell us from which period it is or something?
No, but this is not a ring used for, it's not finger ring. This I can tell you from where it comes. So this is 𝗕𝗶𝗿𝗃 9968. This is quite late, it's like 4th or 5th century CE.
Okay. Mostly in this activity you find seeds
A bit.
more prominently. Seeds, right? Found seeds. When I was talking to Dr. Luca on the top of the mountain, I was really interested in the climate change events in this region. So we talked briefly on that. And he also mentioned that when we do the next discussion, we will do it on seeds, that how we can create a reference from the past through that seed structures or their natures, so we can really see what happened in the past. So it's really beautiful that we now see the challenge of climate change, and this kind of knowledge can really help us, to overcome our climate challenges. So archaeology is not just limited to just collect things, put in the museum for the display. It's always the sharing knowledge that can also predict the future possibilities.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong.
Yes, no, absolutely, because it tells you something about human-environment relationship and also natural disaster and how people like, the challenge of the past and the solution that were found. So from the kind of seed you find, you can also understand which kind of irrigation system was used.
Okay.
So this is really should be a new frontier for the archaeology in
we
Pakistan.
should need to stand now.
This is a big guy, so he needs to be straight a bit. One thing I need to mention in Urdu for the audience, ये ऐसे नहीं होता कि यहाँ से कोई चीज़ मिल जाए और यहाँ से आप ले जाएं. There's a lot of filters, supervision, टीम होती हैं, उन टीम को वो चीज़ें दिखाई जाती है और उस दिखाने के बाद एक प्रॉपर प्रोसेस होता है, उसको डॉक्यूमेंट किया जाता है. तो यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है कि हर दफ़ा ही कोई गोल्ड वोल्ड मिलता है. यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें निकलती है और उसको प्रॉपरली मॉनिटर किया जाता है और प्रॉपरली वो म्यूजियम तक अपना सफ़र तय करता है. उस डिटेल में हम नहीं जाएंगे. We'll move to this big site and see what's being there.
religious focus, as far as we know now, of the city of 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲. So we have walked through the lower part of the city, and here in the past, till the 1st, 2nd century CE, there was the limit of the city. So the upper area was actually used for plantation, but also for workshop. We found a workshop for the production of pottery there.
Okay.
So if this is the limit, we are at the very periphery, northern periphery of the city now.
Okay.
And this is a religious monument that continue to be used from the 3rd century BCE, Mauryan period, till the Kushano-Sassanid phase, which means like 4th century CE. So for many centuries, the people from 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲 continue to rebuild, to embellish this site. So it must have been very important, and it's really at the center, in the periphery, but at the center of the city.
Okay.
So it's a Buddhist monument, and
It's more like a stupa or something? Or it's
in
quite
a later
different?
in a later phase it was. So in 𝗧𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗲, and we have two like very important Buddhist Mauryan site, so which means the earliest possible. One is in 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗲, the Dharmarajika of 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗲, that is the same age of Dharmarajika of 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗲, and then there is this temple in 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃. So in the very early phase, it was a temple actually. So
okay.
you see that we have this takhta.
Yeah.
Here,
takhta. You covered this.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a corridor actually. So in a very early phase, this was a sort of, it was a shrine with an 𝗕𝗶𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗲 shape, and some preliminary drawing are there. So it was an 𝗕𝗶𝗿𝗃 shrine with a corridor, and inside we don't know what was there. We don't know what was there, so which was the actual focus of veneration of this place. But what we know is that immediately outside there was a stupa.
Okay.
So if you come here, you can see that below that square podium there is a circular, there is a ring. There is a circular structure. You can see it only from here, and that is the base of a stupa that is contemporary to this. So indirectly we can say that this was like since the 3rd century a Buddhist site, and this comes very clear in the later phases when the monument continued to be used. They put a staircase here, a big podium, and we found evidence of a stupa here inside. The big problem of this trench is that it was excavated by smuggler in the past, so it was in very bad condition.
Okay. So they have basically more like destroyed this
they destroyed the stupa, but it was here, and this was covered. So if you see that image there on the board, you can have on the like that reconstruction on the right side. You have the like possible reconstruction. So it was a circular shrine with the dome on top, and inside there was a little stupa. So you can have two types. So you can have an open air stupa or a small stupa inside the shrine, and this was this kind.
I was asking this question that most of the time what we have seen in 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃, the stupa is big, and they were covered. The Buddha's remains are there in every, right?
Yes.
But this is quite different. It's circular, and it can be a big shrine, are you saying? And the stupa was very small in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's quite different from all others.
Yes. This is in the late phase. In the early phase is again more extraordinary for the archaeology of 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃, because this kind of apsidal shrine with something inside is typical, of course, of the Mauryan monument in India. So we have parallel, for instance, with Bairat, which is in Rajasthan nowadays. So you really can see similar religious architecture, and that's very interesting. And that's why it's unique. I mean, on one side because it's antiquity, but also in terms of like religious architecture, how religious places were built and used in the past. And here we found a lot of remains from in connections to a burner, like sort of incense burner made in terracotta. We found a lot of cotton seeds and pomegranate. And according to our archaeobotanists, they might be used for this perfume, this fragrance used, you know, to offer something in the religious place. When you have a place that continue to be used for so many centuries, because people simply built on top of, and you cannot remove the staircase to check for the ancient gate.
It was later built, and the real thing was
it's below. But you can, we can have a glimpse of it through these like corridors that are built inside. Now they are covered, but you can actually go down. So this is the ancient structure of the shrine. That only in a later period was refilled and was transformed in a podium. And then at that phase, they built the steps. And you have to imagine here a floor. So these stones are indicate like the floor of the ancient stupa, and the stupa was here, and there was like a circular shrine with the dome on top. This is later period, while in earlier period we have this apsidal shrine. And this is the stupa I was mentioning before. You see this ring?
This ring.
And what is very interesting here that we found the slab of this covering this slab with description.
Okay, you guys can sit.
Okay.
So I'm seeing this. It's a kind of cluster that we use usually. So I have never seen this kind of thing in any archaeological site. Most of them, these are covered. So it was later covered by the recent period, or it was from the very past.
Okay. So the plaster is like original. You have to imagine that most of the time we see this plaster simply white, but it was painted. So we also found traces of painting, mostly. I mean, in the 𝗧𝗿𝗃 Museum, you can see some of the paintings found in 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃. Here we have a red chakra that was found. There is another stupa on the other side. And what you find on top, this is simply a protection that was put there by our conservator, because if the rain comes, it will go between the plaster and the stones, and then the plaster will collapse. So that's protection, the one that you see there on top. So plaster was mostly used in later period, but this staircase is quite unique for us. Because you know, in Gandharan stupa are very characteristic in the sense they are very different to the Indian stupa, for instance. They are mostly round, have a round plan like this. In fact, this is a very early period with Indian influences. While in Gandhara, you always have this verticalization, like in Amlukdara, very high. So an high podium with a very steep staircase. So the staircase was the perfect place where to put things that you want to show to visitors. Because if you stand there, you can really see what is written or decorated here. So here we found only 2 slabs, so it's not complete. There is an inscription mentioning the person who renovated these sites, and that he dedicated this to his father and his mother. So it's a very formulaic sentence written in Kharoshthi, and it's in Gandhari language. And yes, and it was found here. So you have to imagine that this was covered with slab made of schist, and you have like from there you could read like all the inscription on the steps.
The writings.
The slab is now in of course in the 𝗧𝗿𝗃 Museum.
Okay.
It's not
so we have a curiosity that, you know, this Bazira city that's been covered a lot of area. So one thing, as there can be a possibility that we do have such kind of structures this big in this parts of the Bazira. Is there any possibility?
Yes. So at the moment, we can explore, let's say, let's stick to reality, 1/3 of the city, not including, of course, all the Acropolis was all excavated.
The outskirts, you know, they are connected to the city.
Yes.
Yeah, but the main city, you will explore 1/3 of it.
We will explore 1/3.
Okay.
We will explore 1/3. So that's why we are opening this big trench. So the city was almost between 12-15 hectares,
Okay.
which is not big for a city at that time. We know, so you know, the capital city of ancient Swat was Massaga, which is nowadays Mingora, and it was, according to the estimation, 100 hectares, like Shekanderi and 𝗕𝗃𝗃 and 𝗕𝗃𝗃. Same. But Barikot was important because it was an agrarian colony. So he had the control on all the production in these fertile lands and valley that you have on the front.
Okay.
Where all the, according to our reconstruction, the agricultural products were managed by the monastic community. So that's why you have such a beautiful monastic center all around. So it controlled a vast area. It was very rich place.
This place is a lot to offer.
Yeah.
It has a lot to discuss. It's a lot in there.
A lot to know about.
Yeah, a lot to know about. We are really honored that we found you and you are explaining it in a very beautiful way. And I think Kamran and Jamshed have experienced something very much different.
We are taking interest in archaeological sites too.
So you should come back. You should
Inshallah.
come back like in 6 months, 1 year, when we will start like the proper excavation. So you can follow all the process, you know, from the
Yeah,
beginning.
for sure we will.
It's our responsibility, you know, to let our youth know that what kind of resources we have, what kind of heritage, history we have, and why we need to take interest in that. Most of our youth in Pakistan are a little bit, you know, they are not, you know, happy with the current political and all overall things that have been happening in this country. And most of the people are thinking to leave this country.
Yes.
They're going abroad to settle down, and they are not, you know, into this crisis and all. We are here, we, Kamran and Jamshed are here to try to find out that little things that are being happening in our area that are positive. So we need to highlight the possibilities to make them rethink the youth of our country, to just rethink your decisions when you're leaving this country. It has a lot of things that you can do. When you comes to the archaeology, you need to find a lot of things. Even we are content creators. We make content for our platforms and we earn through them or whatever means. So you can also create a content creation in archaeology. You know, it's a lot to offer. It's a lot of knowledge, a lot of things being happening. So when we enter, it was just for us, it was a desert, more like. But when we starting talking, we are even not feeling any tiredness.
Exactly.
Right? So we need to understand that there is a lot of things happening, and we are really glad that the people like you from last 11 years, Dr. Luca from last around 40 years, are the true inspirational examples for our youth. That from other countries, you are coming here for the research and doing it very passionately, very beautifully, and you know, contributing to our heritage, our culture, our you know, resources and all. And you know, so the youth should rethink that if you guys can live here, work here, earn here, and have you know, your own identity, why not they can do the same? So we are really much thankful to you and your entire team that you let us come here and to sit in this beautiful place while taking care of your all the precautions. We're taking all the precautions. So how do you see, 𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃? How did you find and what kind of experience do you have today?
It's quite interesting for me. Like as I told you before, that it's my first experience ever in Pakistan or anywhere in the world, like going to a heritage site and knowing about the generations and generations and their history, how they used to live, and they used to build like the structures that we can never imagine to build a structure like this even in this modern era. So it's quite interesting for me, and of course developed a lot of interest of mine in this heritage site, and for sure I'm planning to now start travel on heritage sites.
Yeah, that would be a beautiful thing when you climb on the mountain, just come down and see what's in there and our town and cities and all. How do you see, Kamran, this?
Same here, I'm pretty excited because actually when I visited only 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲 and 𝗕𝗶𝗿𝗃𝗲, and this is my third visit to heritage site. But after explanation of Madam Elisa, I am just interested in these things and going to make plan to make content on all these things, all the archaeological sites. But we will need some information, so I will need your help. And I'm really interested in these things. After all, we think we are working here since 4 hours, and literally I'm not feeling that much tired. Actually, we not slept almost. We have slept 3 hours, but still we are interested to know more about that.
Okay, I'm glad to hear.
That's a really beautiful thing. They are the best content creators we have in our province, and it's more important that when you are taking interest and there is a stories to tell. So it's really good for our work too.
Yes.
People are here on our platforms. They want to know more about our work. And it's really beautiful that these two are contributing to our cause, that we should know our resources, we should know our history, and we should own it. And we need to protect it, and we need to promote it. And if you go abroad the country, if you go to any other country, we should be ambassadors of our own culture and heritage. When you connect to the other world, you should connect through your heritage knowledge, nothing else. You cannot tell them that what kind of political system we have. Recently, when I was in the Peshawar Museum, I was talking to 𝗕𝗃𝗶𝗿, in charge of the Peshawar Museum. I told him that we can now never imagine that we will create such kind of structures, knowledge. 𝗕𝗶𝗿 was more like a Harvard of their time, right? Yes. So we cannot create it. If we cannot create it, let's take ownership of the past civilizations and take it as our own. At least we connect our own identity to the past civilization, so the world will more accept us. They will be more giving us more respect. So it's not just you take the ownership, it will pay you back. If you want to connect to the world, this is the way to you need to a path to the world. So thank you, Elisa.
Thank you.
We can talk a lot more, but thank you so much for your time. You have taken a lot of we have taken a lot of your precious time. You have been working. We wish you best of luck, and we are very much thankful from the people of 𝗬𝗿, from Pakhtunkhwa, that you have been working here and you are contributing to our history and
our assets.
And thank you to you and the people of 𝗬𝗿 to welcome me, actually. So it's the reverse.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll be ending our part here, and we will be continue our journey to the another site with Amanullah. We would like to go to 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲.
𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲, I know.
Okay. Thank you, Elisa.
Okay,
it's
thank
really,
you.
it's
Thank
really
you.
nice
Thank you.
meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. आपके पास तो बड़ी एक इंटरेस्टिंग खातून थी, और उन्होंने हमें इतना डिटेल से समझाया, मुझे और बरकी साहब और कामरान साहब को, कि ये बजीरा सिटी के बारे में आप लोग बेहतर जान सकेंगे। अब हम कहाँ जा सकते हैं इसके बाद, कौन सी साइट पे?
हम आप लोगों को बहुत ही खूबसूरत साइट की तरफ लेके जाएंगे, जिसका नाम 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗲 मास्क है, गजनवी मास्क है। वो बहुत ही हिस्टोरिकल है और मुस्लिम पीरियड का मास्क है, बहुत अहम और इम्पोर्टेंट है। उधर लेके जाते हैं।
ठीक है।
बहुत खूबसूरत है, और जिस तरह आप लोगों ने यहाँ पे विज़िट किया, तो उधर भी विज़िट कर लेंगे और देख लेंगे, और इंशाल्लाह आप उसको सही तरीके से एंजॉय कर लेंगे।
ज़बरदस्त, चलें।